Salvete omnes, salvete amici, nomen mihi est Decimus Aurelius Ingeniarius, praetor Australianus. Hello, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are watching us from in the world. We are here broadcasting live from the eastern seaboard of Provincia Australia, of Nova Roma, the International Roman Revivalist Society and organisation. It's a pleasure to be here this evening, and it's wonderful that you can join us for our live stream. Now, we are now doing episode 8 of the Lingua Latina Pensa Illustrata series, where we are following along and essentially watching me learn Latin. Now, as a disclaimer, I don't know Latin. I'm learning from scratch, but I decided I would broadcast my learning efforts here live on the Roman Twitch channel, and you can follow along as well and perhaps study along with me. And from time to time we'll have various Latinists drop into our chat as well and provide some handy pronunciation and grammar tips as well. And of course, if you're studying the Orberg LLPSI Latin method, it would be great to get your input as we go along as well. So the first couple of episodes of our series, we stepped through the first 5 or 6 chapters of the LLPSI book. And if you haven't seen it before, if you're new to the series, that's this book here. These are available in hard copy, soft copy, ebooks, etc. So there are certainly plenty of options there. And what's unique is this book is entirely written in Latin, so we are learning and deducing the grammar and the meaning of words and vocabulary as we go along. But this episode, the next episode, and the one previous to this was all about doing the homework that exists at the back of the chapters, the questions, the practice exercises, and we're going to be doing some more of that again this evening on tonight's episode. So we're looking at the homework, if you like, for Capitulum Duo, or the second chapter, or Secundum, for the second chapter. So for those that have the books and are following along this evening, if you turn to the back of chapter 2 in the Orberg book there, we're going to do Pensum A and Pensum C. So we'll be able to do the fill in the blanks exercise and see if we can answer some questions in Latin, which will be a very good exercise. So absolutely fantastic. So let's switch our screen now across to our homework view. On the left hand side is I guess an ebook, the Amazon variant, I think, of the book here. It's unfortunate I can't zoom in terribly well, so hopefully we'll be able to access to the text, and I think it's available free online in some places as well if you're looking. On the right hand side is simply my Word document where we're doing our exercise, and you can see our exercise from the first chapter that we did last week, or not last week, but certainly our last episode. So you can see we did Pensum A, filling in the blanks of the exercise, and Pensum C, where we answered some of the questions there in Latin, and these were our answers. And I think we did all right. I think there's only one that tripped us up, so we weren't too bad. So if you're interested in seeing how we got there, please go back probably on our YouTube channel, Australia Nova Romana, and you can, and of course in our video section here on the Twitch channel, you can see that previous episode 7 and how we stepped through that homework. But tonight we're on to the second chapter, and Pensum A, and that is at the bottom of page 17 inside the Orberg book. And you can see right down the bottom here, the start of the fill in the blanks exercise, Pensum A there. And so, yeah, this is quite simple. So if you want to grab a pen and paper or a Word document in front of you, do so now, and you can work along with me and we can seek to fill in the blanks. Now, it certainly helps that you've read the chapter prior to doing the homework. So if you haven't yet read chapter 2, please take a moment to maybe pause the video, go back and read chapter 2, and then restart this video again, so you will have a better idea of some of the context as we step through this exercise. Very good. So let's have a look. So let's set up my my typing area here. I'll move that particular book aside, and I'll bring my keyboard in nice and close. Very good. And we are going to start typing out here. Now, we're not going to be able to get the accents in our writing, but that's fine. We can generally deduce the meaning of all the words without them. Thankfully, there's not too many words that don't make sense in Latin without their accents, which is good. So, Pensum A, down the bottom here where my cursor is, and we're going to start typing up here on our right-hand side. So we have Marcus, that word's already filled. Now we have our first blank here, Fili something, and then we have Iuli est. Here we're talking about Marcus is the son of, is definitely what the answer is here. So we know Marcus is a boy, so that's going to be a US ending. Okay, so Iuli here is the genitive. Essentially, Marcus is the son of, here being the word son, Filios son. Marcus is the son of Julius. Or you could say Marcus is Julius's son. So there's, I guess, two ways to state that there. Good. That's the first sentence done. Let's move on. Then we have Julia. And then we have another word with a blank here. And again, there is the genitive. So holding the blank for the moment until we are 100% sure. But we know here this is probably going to be the word daughter. And that should be the feminine ending there. So Julia, Filia, Julii est. There's lots of lots of very close sounding words here. Julius, Julia, very much so. So Julia is the daughter of Julius, or Julia is Julius's daughter. Good. Okay. Moving on. Third sentence. Julius est vir Roman something is the sentence. So essentially what this is trying to say is Julius is a Roman man, and I'm pretty sure that should be Romanus as an adjective, which meets the noun being, I guess, Julius here. So Julius est vir Romanus is my guess for that part of the sentence so far. All right, let's move on. And we say Aemilia femin something Roman something est. So we're talking about feminine here. We know that Amelia is a woman, so that would be femina, and that should be Romana. So if we have Romanus for the male here with man, and Julius, Amelia, femina, and Romana. So we got the feminine adjective here for the noun. That should be it so far. So we're saying that Julius is a Roman man and Amelia is a Roman woman. Good, good. Okay, next sentence. We have Julius domin something. Okay, so there's the missing words, comma, Amelia domin something est. So let's go back and have a look. So again, we're talking about the correct gender adjectives here for the descriptions, talking about how they're masters. So this should be US ending for the male, dominus, and Amelia is a domina est, is what we are trying to say there. Okay, that looks pretty good so far. Then we're going to talk about medus, which is one of the family slaves. Medus serves something. Graik something. Est, comma, delia est, ankil dash something. And let's finish off the sentence before we come back. Graik something, full stop. Okay, there's our complete sentence there. So, medros is a Greek something, and in this case we're talking about a slave. So this should be a US ending, servus. Now, here in the adjective for Greek, I'm not 100% sure. My natural instinct is to go US. And delia est ankila graika. So Delia is a Greek female slave, essentially, and Medus is a Greek male slave, or just a slave. Yeah, so I'm not 100% certain on these endings here, but if we were to follow the convention, we have the feminine adjective here for the feminine noun and the masculine ending here for the masculine noun. We're ballpark close. We're ballpark close, but we'll see. We'll be able to check our answers towards the end. Right, so yeah, just as another caveat, like I'm saying, I'm just working through this like anybody else through the book. No real prior knowledge, and we do have an answers book here that we'll be able to consult at the end and mark our work and make sure we are correct. So let's continue on through the exercise. We're up to a new paragraph here now. So we're going to create a new paragraph, make things nice and clear for us. So we have Julius pater Mark something est. Julius is the father of Marcus, is what I think it's trying to say here. So we need, or Marcus's father is Julius. So Julius is the subject here. We need the genitive or the possessive form here of Marcus, which should be Marquis, if I am not mistaken. I can't remember if there's one or two I's here. I believe it should just be the one, but we essentially need to show the genitive form of Marcus to show this relationship. So Julius is the father of, and we can often show possession in English with either of or the use of apostrophe s. So Julius is the father of Marcus, or Julius is Marcus's father. There's two ways of saying that. Okay, so it'll be something like Marquis with an I. I can't remember if it's two I's, but I guess we'll be able to check our spelling in the answers when we get there. Next sentence. Marcus est dominus ser something. Marcus is Marcus is the slave's master. So we need a genitive again. So we might say servi, a genitive. Noting, did I get that right? No, it's not Marcus. You guys got to pick me up quicker. It should be Julius here. That makes more sense to me. Julius Dominus. Where are Julius est Dominus servi? That is my answer to that second sentence. That looks much better. So here we are up here with the cursor. So then in this next sentence, we'll start with Julius again. Here we are. Julius Dominus. Yes, we're going to have the complete word there. Med something et da something est. Colon. Julius Dominus ser something est. Alright, so we can continue to confirm some of the details that we know. So Julius is the master of, I think it should be Medi et Davi est. So, and then we have Julius is the slave's master. Lots of I's going in here if I've got those right. It's all about trying to know the genitive form of these words, and there's no clues, I don't think, over in our margin here, so we're very much on our own. So I think the spelling of some of these is wrong. That's my guess so far, but at least we're identifying for ourselves that we need the genitive form or the possessive form of these names to show that relationship back to Julius, which is the master. All right. Let us have a look. So we've just done this sentence here, and then we're going to start with numerus. So we're going to go numerus ser something, as a blank there, magnus est. So we're saying here there is a large number of slaves. So we need the plural genitive here, I think. And this has definitely got me stumped. So for ourselves here, we need the plural possessive here. So the number of slaves is large. Okay, so the plural possessive is what we're needing here. So trying to prompt her back to the reading of the chapter, the capitulum, I want to say not ending in bus, suerum. Hang on, I think I want to say suerum, something along those lines. So yeah, I'm less certain about what the plural possessive is here, but it's something similar to that. I'm pretty sure that spelling is incorrect, but we do know we need the plural possessive there. So when we come back to check that answer, we'll see how close I got. But yeah, that's just a matter of practice. So let's see how we go with that later. All right, so let's go continue on. And then there'll be more plural possessives here, and I'm not going to know them very well. So if you are in chat live right now and you know what the answer is, I'm happy for you to chime in and put me out of my misery. Okay. So we said numerus, perhaps severum magnus est, and then we're going to start with Delia. Delia est ancilla Aemili something, colon, Aemilia domina ancil something est. All right, so there is our next sentence. So we're now talking about Amelia. So Delia is the slave of Amelia. So that should be the possessive for feminine should just be AE. There's a lot of repetition in the female side. So Delia est ancilla Ameliae. Amelia domina ancillae est. Should be the genitive here. So here we're testing our feminine side of the language here in terms of the possessive or the genitive case, and I'm pretty sure it's the ending of AE. And again, we'll be able to confirm our answers when towards the end. Okay, so Amelia domina ancillae est, Amelia domina Deli. Okay, so we've done that sentence. So now we start with Amelia again here. Amelia domina Deli something et sur something. Yep, so we're talking about the female slaves here. Est colon Amelia. It looks very similar to the previous sentence, doesn't it? Yes, domina ancil something. Yep, est. Full stop. So very similar to the previous sentence. So it shouldn't be, hopefully not too difficult. So Amelia is the master of Deli et Siri est Amelia domina ancillae est. So Amelia is the female slave's master. All right, so we need the genitive here and the possessives here. Yes, Amelia is the domina of, yes, Delia et Siri. So hopefully now, actually that may not be right. Might be Deliae et Siri. Yes. Ah, hello there to the good senator who's just jumped in and paid his Roman taxes. Gratias Tibiago, now on a 11-month streak for the channel. Well done. That's fantastic. Thank you for your continued contributions in serving and providing and supporting this Roman channel. And of course, thank you for your continued work in our glorious Republic of Nova Roma. Yes, Titus Domitius Draco, Senator. Absolutely fantastic. I have been well. I'm pleased to be back live. Haven't taken a hiatus for 1 or 2 weeks, so it is certainly good to be back, and good to see you back in our chat as usual. So here we are struggling with the feminine genitive of various female names so far in our homework lesson for today. All right. So yes, I think we just corrected ourselves here. Should we have the AI genitive ending here for the female names, possessive forms, the genitive case, following our pattern. So we'll be able to check that answer at the end when we bring up the answer book. All right, so we just finished this sentence here. So we're now going to move into in familia. All right, so let's start typing that in familia Juli, and there's a first blank there. Est Magnus. Oop, let's spell that right. Numerus ser, and there's our second blank, et ancil something as a blank there. All right, let's review that sentence. Oh, I went capitals for some reason there. Familia. That's better. So in the family, and I'm going to say here in Julius's family, so we need the male genitive there. In familia Juli est magnus numerus, and we're trying to say there are many male and female slaves. So this is where we're going to the plural again, and I'm going to confuse this here with the possessive plural up here. So they're both not the same answer, but this is all I've got so far until I double check the answer. So we want to use, in both cases here, we want the plural nominative here. Plural nominative is what we're looking for in this case. So in Julius's family, there is a large number of male and female slaves. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the plural possessive and the plural nominative of these words is different, but for the life of me, I can't remember those. So we will be consulting our answer. So we know we've already lost marks at that point there. But we've left clues for ourselves to remind ourselves what we should have put at those points. All right, let's continue with the next sentence, starting with Aemilia there. Aemilia mater mark something is our first blank. Et quint something is a second blank. Et Iuli something is the third blank. Est. All right, so Aemilia is the mother of Marcus, Quintus, and Julia. So we have the feminine suffix or ending showing the genitive case for each of the names. So the male endings for the male names, the female endings for the female names. So Aemilia mater Margi et Quinti et Juliae est. Aemilia is the mother of the kids there. And I think we even elaborate on that a little bit further on, I think. So this next sentence here we have Marcus, Quintus, Juliaque, so that means Marcus, Quintus, and Julia. Sunt liberi Juli. There's our first blank for this sentence. Et Aemili, second blank, full stop. So Marcus, Quintus, and Julia are Julius's and Aemilia's children. So liberi is the plural there of children, and we have the genitive case for Julius and Aemilia, and this quae it's called an I don't want to say it's an eclectic. It's very similar to that sounding name, but essentially it's an add-on word. Can't be by itself, but essentially means and here. So we have Marcus, Quintus, and Julia is what the QUE does here. Are the children of Julius and Aemilia. Okay, so I think we're pretty happy with that sentence. All right, let's finish off the last sentence of this second major paragraph here. So we're going to say numerus liber dash est tres. So this sentence is saying the number of children is 3. So we need the plural, and I think it's, the more I think about it, the more I think it's this form. Liberorum should be the plural nominative of maybe it's just, hang on, maybe we tricked ourselves here. The number of children is 3. So if we're saying that's children, it should be the same here. I don't think it's just a nominative case. So Marcus, Quintus, and Julia are Julius's and Aemilia's children. So if that liberi is children, this would work here as well. So the number of children is 3. We don't need any other possessive. That would just be nominative, so that would be the same here. Liberi. So we nearly tricked ourselves. Well, I nearly tricked myself. Hopefully, if you're doing this along at home, that you're getting the answers right, and maybe you're laughing at me for my lack of memory on some of these words. But like I said, we'll be able to check our answers at the end. All right, let's finish off this last sentence of this second paragraph. Numerus ser something est centum. The number of slaves is 100. So we need the plural slaves. Again, I think it's severum. We know we need the plural nominative here. So just as a clue, because we've struggled with this word further on, because I don't know, again, what the plural possessive is. But I'm pretty sure that should be the plural nominative. But we will find out shortly. Right, this last little paragraph here starts with in pagina prima capitul something dash secund something multa vocabula. Did I spell that right on my page? No. VOCA. Oh dear. VOCA. There we go. Vocabula nova sunt. So in the first, so on the page, in the first page of the second chapter, there are many new words. Okay, is what the sentence want to say. So I believe it should be capitulum secundum. Is there 2 blanks? There's only the 2 blanks in that sentence. Yeah, so in pagina prima capitulum secundum multa vocabula nova sunt. Should be the correct sentence there. And we'll finish it off with numerus let's spell this right. Dash is a first blank, non parvus est. The number of chapters is not small, so we need the plural of chapters here. I want to say it's capitula. So I think when you have I think this is a neuter word. So when they go plural, I think it looks feminine. So I want to say it's capitula. So we need this is the plural. We're just making the note for ourselves. This should be the plural word. And that will be our job, because I'm pretty sure that I'm not confident about that spelling. We'll confirm. Right, so there is the end of Pensum A. So now we get to go pull up our answer book and see how we did. So let's move my microphone out of the way, and we might pull up a highlighter here. So we'll have green for where we get, oh no, we don't know if that's right yet. We'll have green for when we get it right, and red if we got it wrong as we go through it. So Marcus Filius. So Filius we got right. Filius Julii est. Julia Filia. Yep, we got that right. That's good. Julii est. So then the next sentence here. Julius est vir Romanus. And it appears we got Romanus correct. Aemilia femina. Good. Romana est. Good. Next sentence here. We have Julius Dominus. Excellent. We got that right. Aemilia Domina. Good. Medus Servus. Good. We got that right there. Graecus. Good. So our hunch there was correct. Graecus est. And then we have Delia est Ancilla. Graeca. Great. Did I miss a sentence somewhere in here? Looks according to these answers, there was one other line. Let's have a look. Yeah, it is Sparta opid something Graeca est. So that should be Sparta opidum. Yes, this is testing our neuter. So over here on the left-hand side where my cursor is, Sparta opidum Graecum est. So that would be the neuter there. All right, let's look at that second paragraph and see how we did. All right. Julius pater Marci est. We did that well. Great. Now, I reckon I've missed more sentences here again. Yep. Marcus est filius. Yeah, so we've missed a whole sentence here. So Marcus est filius Julii et Aemiliae would be the second sentence that we want there. And back here. Yep, good. Okay. So I'm trying to work out where we are. So Julius est Dominus Servi. There we go. So we'll skip ahead here. Julius est Dominus Servi. So we got that right. So it looks like I missed a sentence. Oh well. Then we have Julius Dominus Medi. Now, did I get the I's right? Yes, I spelt that correct. Davi is correct. Good. Est. Then we have Julius Dominus Severum. I reckon I've confused sentences here, but based on the next sentence, Severorum, yep, so that is correct. All right, yes, Severi, yes, yeah. I just want to see where I've gone funny with the sentences, but so apparently that is the plural possessive. Numerus severus magnus est. So we got that right. So we've got the others wrong later on. So let's see how we went. So we have Delia est Ancilla Aemiliae. That's correct. Aemilia Domina Ancillae est. That's correct. Aemilia Domina Deliae. Oh, good. I'm glad we went back and changed that. Et Sirae. Yes. Aemilia Domina Ancilla. Ancillarum. So this is where I got it wrong, because we're talking about multiple slaves here. So we want a red here because I got this wrong. Right. So here it should be ancillarum. So let's make a note for ourselves. Let's turn the highlighter off. We don't want the highlighter for this bit. So an or bold. We don't need bold for now. Ancillarum, which is the plural form and plural genitive. So back when we look at this sentence, so Aemilia domina deliae et sirae est, Aemilia domina ancillarum est is what we want to say here. So Aemilia is the master, is the female slave's master. So is this the plural? Yeah, the plural possessive. Ancillarum. Plural genitive, as opposed to just the plural nominative, which is I think what we had there. Okay. So let's continue on. See we go. Hopefully I can bring the green back. Fingers crossed. So in familia Iuli, yep. So that was fine. We're pretty confident with those. Es magnus numerus severum. So that I got right. So O-R-U-M. I got the spelling okay there. Et ancil. So not quite the spelling here. I need the feminine spelling. So that should be an A. So that part's correct. But really it should be an A here. Right. So ancillarum again down the bottom here. Aemilia mater Marci et Quinti et Iulii. I think we get to go back to green. Marci et Quinti et Iulii. So they're all correct according to the book anyway. Marcus Quintus Iuliaque sunt liberi Iulii. Yep, good. Et Aemiliae. Good. Numerus liberorum. Okay, so this is one we got wrong. I talked myself into that, saying that was the right answer, which when in fact it wasn't. So this should be numerus liberorum est tres, the number of children, number of. It's possessive. So I don't know how I missed that. So here we are talking about, this is the plural genitive case. Numerus liberorum est tres, the number of children is 3. So we got that wrong. Let's see if we can finish a little bit stronger. Numerus severum, that's correct. Est centum. So we got that. We got a green for our last sentence here. So yeah, ancillarum and liberorum are the two words that I didn't quite get in this one here. So let's check that last line in pagina prima capituli. So here we're talking about possessive, and we've got this wrong. So that is no, I want a red here, unfortunately. So that should be capituli secundi, so that would have to match. So I guess we're talking about genitive case here. Multa vocabula nova sunt numerus capitulorum. So that is also incorrect at the back here as well. Capitulorum, plural, the number of chapters. So it's the plural genitive of capitulum, which is capitulorum. The number of chapters is not small, so that needs to be capitulorum. So here, these are on the page of the second chapter. Is essentially what we're saying. There are many new words. So this should be capituli secundi, which is the genitive case for these words here. So there's a few ones we got wrong. So I've just got to practice some of my plural possessives, plural genitive case for some of these words. But hopefully that's a good prompter for us as we move into the the Pensum questions, and we'll see how well my readings have been doing. So hopefully you fared a little bit better than I have. I mean, I got, I don't know what, 70-80% right answers there. A few wrong endings, minor spelling error over here. So obviously got to familiarize myself with the feminine endings in these cases here. But we're certainly making progress. All right, let's do Pensum C. So let's get rid of make sure we don't have a highlighter going. We don't need the highlighter for the moment. Stop highlighting. And let's do the questions. So the question here is the first question, quis est quintus? Quintus is the question. And our answer to that. So let's define what the question is here for ourselves first in English. Quis est Marcus? So I want to say is who, and this is I guess the masculine variant of that. Who is Quintus? And I guess based on what we read in the chapter, we want to say Quintus is a Roman boy. So we want to say Quintus, and we can say est. The order of the sentence in Latin is flexible. But sometimes we'll often put est at the end. But for here, this purposes, we want to say it first. Quintus est puer Romanus. Quintus est puer Romanus is going to be our answer to that first question. That seems pretty easy so far. Let's have a look. Qui sunt is our second question. Medus et Davus. So here we have qui sunt medus et Davus is our question. And it's pretty much asking who are Medus and Davus. And so qui is essentially the plural variant of who here. So when we're talking about more than one object, and that's more obvious by the use of the word sunt as opposed to est here. So who are Medus and Davus? So they are Julius's slaves, I would argue. And we answer this. We're going to answer this in full. So Medus et Davus are Julius's slaves. So Juli ser. So we need the plural of slaves, which should be servi, or is it severum? Sunt. See, already we've stumped ourselves. So we have a look up here. The number of slaves. That's so severum is plural possessive. Did we say that? Interesting. So that is, I think, my answer. So Medus et Davus Juli severum sunt. So Medus and Davus are Julius's slaves. Okay. So if we're talking about singular, that would be a little bit easier. But again, being stumped in the plural here. But we're on the right track. And I'm pretty sure if we were to articulate that to a Latin speaker, they get the gist of what we're saying. We'll test our answer in the end there. If you're live in chat, feel free to throw in your answer and we can test ourselves. So, next one is a very interesting question. Marcusne quoque servus Juli est. So this is very fascinating, and initially go, well, this looks like a confusing word here. What's going on here? But again, we have one of these endings, ne, which usually implies a question. So without the question mark, and they didn't really have question marks in ancient Latin, at least to my knowledge. So the way that they would turn this into a question statement is to use this ne ending in a lot of cases. So we're used to words so far early in the book such as esne, is there, or suntne, are there, as variations. But we can also pose a question in this form as well, adding this ne ending. So here it's saying, is Marcus also one of Julius's slaves? And we're going to say Marcus non Juli. Marcus is not one of Julius's slaves. Severum est. Said, I suppose we could expand here. We'll keep it simple, and I think certainly the answers in the book imply relatively simple answers, I believe. But just in case, we'll expand as to why he's not Julius's slave. So Marcus non Julius severum est. So Marcus is not Julius's slave, but, and let's put a comma in here just for our well-being, but is Julius's son. So we're going to say Julii filius est. So we don't need to say slaves here. We can say servus. So Marcus is not Julius's slave, but is Julius's son. I think that answers that question adequately enough. Okay. Cuius filia est Julia is our next question. I'll just put my little answer prompter there. So cuius filia est Julia. So this word here is the, I think it's the genitive form, and which means whose. So whose daughter is Julia, I think is what we're saying here. So we say Julia, make her the subject. Julia is the daughter. So filia of Julius et Aemiliae est. So Julia is the daughter of Julius and Amelia, or Julius and Amelia's daughter is Julia. Wow, it's very confusing, being a very similar name to the father, isn't it? So I think we've answered that question. Okay, we're doing all right so far. No, nothing major. Let's look at the next question. Quot, how are you guys doing at home? Quot liberi sunt in familia sunt. Oh, hang on. Let's not skip ahead in the questions. Quot liberi sunt in familia Julii. That's better. Quot liberi sunt in familia Julii. So let's finish that off. Now, quot is a non-declinable word that always exists in that same form. So I guess that makes it a little bit easier to identify for us anyway, or for me, what that word means when we continue to encounter it. It's pretty much essentially how many or how much. So how many children are in Julius's family? And so we're going to answer that with, so there are, now can we remember the plural of children? Liberorum. There are 3 children. So we could just say liberi tres sunt. As far as I'm concerned, there are 3 children. Now, to answer that properly, we would answer there are 3 children in Julius's family. There are 3 children in familia Julii. There are 3 children in Julius's family. So put that at the front. In Julius' family, there are 3 children. Liberi tres sunt. I'm happy with that. I think I'm happy with that. Okay, next quot question. We have quot servi in familia sunt. Yeah. How many slaves are in the family? Family here being genitive to the whole group. That Julius is the paterfamiliaris of. Paterfamilia of. How many slaves? So there are 100 slaves. So what was the... So the plural of slaves here, it's not the same. The number of slaves, yes, severum. Yeah, okay. The number of slaves is 100. And we could probably say that. Numerus, the number severum. Severum, that's better. The number of slaves centum est. Number of slaves is 100. Or ideally we'd answer that with there are 100 slaves in the family is probably another way to say that. We'll leave what we've got there for the moment, but we'll note the other way that we perhaps would have answered that. When you're answering in Latin, you really need to be specific to the well, at least the answers for this book anyway, it wants you to be as close to answering the original question as possible. We've sort of taken a bit of creative flair here, noting what we've seen in other parts of the chapter anyway. So I suspect that's not wrong, but that may not be the exact answer that they have in that book, and that's not necessarily a problem, but we won't be able to verify that, guys, because we ourselves aren't Latin speakers. All right, let's have a look at this next question. Num, we're nearly there, we're over halfway. Num sira domina est? Question mark. Surely Sira is not a master. And it's true, she's not. So Sira non domina sed ancilla. Sira is not a master, but a female slave. So num being surely not. Num says it poses a question which implies a negative answer. And that is true in this case. So the person asking the question, num, they have an appreciation that Sira is probably not a master. All right, next one we have quae est domina ancillarum. Ancillarum. So quae is the feminine form of who. So who is the master of the female slaves? So we can say Amelia is that's that topic in English, is the female slave of ancillarum est. So Amelia is the master of the female slaves. I think we've answered that correctly. I think that's a pretty simple answer. Ancillarum, ancillarum. Yep, okay, I think I'm happy with that. Any objections in the live chat? No, I don't think so. Good so far. All right, let's continue on. Making progress. We've got 2 questions left, I think. Here we go. Estne Cornelius vir Graecus. So again, these questions rely on you having previously read the chapter. Hopefully you've read the chapter as well. So let's put these are the start of our answers here. I forgot them in all cases. No biggie. We know what we're doing. So is Cornelius a Roman? Is Cornelius a Greek man? He's not. He's a Roman man. So we're going to say Cornelius non vir Graecus sed vir Romanus. So Cornelius is not a Greek man, but a Roman man. All right. And finally, the last question we have is num puella vocabulam masculinum est. So now it says surely puella is not a masculine word, which it is not. And we're going to say we might use the puella non, and we're going to copy that here. Puella is not a masculine word, but a feminine word. Now I can't remember the word for feminine, but we know it's going to be feminine. So that's where I'm going to lose marks, but essentially it's going to be something along the lines of vocabula, and then the insert Latin word for feminine. Yeah. It'll be very similar. So surely puella, which means girl, is not a masculine word, which it's not. We're going to say puella is not a masculine word, but it is a feminine word. And unfortunately, I don't know what the Latin word for feminine is off the top of my head. It looks very it's not femininum. It might be something very similar along those lines, but I'd be guessing, and certainly not worth the effort. I'm going to get the wrong mark here anyway when we check our answers. Points to somebody who points it in first in the comments or chat before I display the answers. But anyway, let's go back now that we've finished Pensum C or care. Let's go back and double check our answers from the book. If you're interested to know where I'm getting the answers from, it's the teacher's manual. If I hold this up down the screen, the manual here, Lingua Latina, the teacher's manual. Here we go full screen so you can see that. And that is available, from various sources as well, according to the teacher's material. So it has all the questions generically as well as all the answers as well. So I can check my homework as we are here at the end of our lessons. First question, quis est quintus? And we're going to say quintus est filius Julii. Is the answer the book gives. Now, we were incorrect in saying that he was a Roman boy. No, that's pretty much correct. But certainly here, based on the line of questioning, it was interested to know the relationship with Julius. So the 100% answer that it's probably looking for here is Quintus est filius Julii, and I'm pretty sure I would have been able to write that knowing the context. Next question. Qui sunt medus et davus? And the answer they give here is medus est davus. Good. Julii, medus et davus servi Julii sunt. So we didn't need the genitive here. So that can just be I, right? So if I put that in, that should just be the I. Well, not dervi, all zeros. So perhaps this is. So we'll put this in yellow because we're unable to verify. It's perhaps not wrong. And here we really wanted the I, so we've got that wrong. But the correct answer is in brackets. Is what you're looking for there. So medus et davus Julii sunt. The rest we got right, more or less. But we wanted just the plural of slaves here. Next question. Marcus ne quoque servi Julii est. Marcus non servus. So we're going to say Marcus is not a slave, but is Julius's son. So we expanded a little bit there, and I'm pretty happy that we've got that right. They simplified it a little bit, but I'm pretty chuffed about that. Okay, cuius filia est Julia. Julia est filia Julii. Julii filia. So we expanded on that here, but that is essentially correct. So if I highlight exactly the right parts that the answer was, I was looking for simple answers in this case. But yeah, we're pretty much on track there, so that was good. All right, quot liberi sunt in familia Julii. They said in familia, and we've started that same way. Julii, yep. Tres liberi sunt. Children, there are 3. So that appears to be about correct. There's a little bit of a difference in the word order, but I'm pretty sure we're okay with that. They've said in familia Julii, tres liberi sunt. But all our words are correct. So I'm pretty happy with that. Next, quot servi in familia sunt. And they've said centum servi sunt in familia. So there are 100 slaves in the family. We said the number of slaves, and like I said here, there's different ways to answer this question. We're unable to verify if that's the correct answer because that's not what's in the book, but we're getting the idea that we're saying that there are 100 slaves in the family. So you might be able to verify that if you're further along in the book and see if I've got that right. Num sura domina est. The answer they provide is sira domina non est. That seems fine so far. Sed angula. So pretty happy with that. We've got a green light. That looks pretty good. Minus word order, but that's pretty flexible. Quae est domina ancillarum? And we said domina ancillarum est Aemilia. Domina ancillarum. Yep, happy with that. Looks good to me. Great. Now, estne Cornelius vir Graecus. And we're going to say Cornelius vir Graecus non est. They just said he is not a Greek man. We've gone the additional way there. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, the last one, I didn't want the feminine word for the Latin word for feminine. So num puella vocabulum masculinum est. And they're going to say puella, like we did, is a femininum. Oh, my guess was right. I said that before, didn't I? And I'm going to write this out here for everybody's reference. So femininum. That is the word we want. That is the correct answer. The Latin word. So they've said girl is a feminine word, not masculine. We sort of said that right way, so we were on the right track. Non-masculinum. So that's pretty good. Through there. Now here, despite talking about, so feminine is still neuter, so that's going to be incorrect. Our attempt there. So that's still going to be vocabulum because feminine is still neuter. See that? So that wouldn't have changed. So that was a bit of a dud, and obviously we lost the marks here because we didn't know the word. But I should have gone with my gut instinct. I said it was going to be femininum, but alas, we didn't get it. So again, not bad. That certainly deserves a review of the chapter, and that certainly highlighted for me that I need to practice my plural genitive of the words that I've learnt in this chapter. So, capitulum, ancilla, servus, liber. These are all the nominative case of words that I need to learn, not only the plural, but the plural genitive as well. So make sure I'm comfortable with the singular genitive as well as the plural genitive of each of those words. So something for me to practice. So interested to know, how did you go at home? How did you go with this homework? Whether you're following this along for the first time or if you've done this before, let me know in the comments or in the live chat now, or if you're watching this on YouTube in the future, in the comment section, how you went as you went through this chapter. Did you get similar answers? Did you struggle somewhere else? Very interested to hear about your learning journey as you go through Latin as well. So there we go. We've got through chapter 2. As we progress, it's going to get a little bit more difficult. So I'll be continuing to do the revision of the chapters as well, particularly as we step through. So we'll continue for the moment working through with each episode through each of the homework chapters or the pensum, A and C, for each of the chapters until we've caught up to where we are through the book readings, and then we'll continue on with the normal sessions of reading through the chapters, learning the words or deducing the words as we go along, listening to the pronunciation by Luke Ranieri and his channel Scorpio Martianos on YouTube. So please go give that a follow if you haven't already. It's a great channel. He does a lot of good work on there, and his pronunciation of Latin is fantastic. And so that's what we've been using to learn our pronunciation. That was most wonderful. So that'll conclude our session for this evening. Hopefully you've learned a little bit of Latin this evening if you're new, but please, if you haven't watched them already, go back and watch all the original episodes and watch my journey as I step through the LLPSI method and learn Latin from scratch, self-taught. Why don't you go back and pick out all my errors that I have made that I perhaps haven't picked up yet. It'd be great to have your feedback. Anyway, this is the Roman Twitch channel brought to you by Nova Roma. I am Decimus Aurelius. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here this evening. Thank you very much for joining me, and stick around and continue to watch a whole bunch of the other streams from our various streamers from around the world and all over Nova Roma. And until next time, Walete.